Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with Charlie. Y'all rocking with me. I got an interview for y'all. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Look, it's Gilli Brando from Mass, New England. What's up?
You've done some prison time. I actually found you through Instagram. I seen a video of you spitting. I thought that shit was fire, so you know I had to follow you right quick.
Cause I'm in it, the industry gonna have to let us in, get us in, fresh out the federal pen, we sick, my homies need medicine, I'm bright, call me Gilli Edison, and the joint got cool with the Mexicans, I'm a drug dealer, who you think gets it in?
Where did you grow up and, more or less, where were you around, before prison?
I mean, I'm from like all over New England, really. I was born in Boston, but like I've lived in a few cities in Mass. I lived in Portland, Maine. I used to be back and forth because my parents was divorced and all that. And then I was in the street, bro, at a young age. You know what I'm saying? I dropped out of school. Just like, I used to play ball, but once I like got kicked off the ball team, then I just started running around the street, shit, like, not for nothing, just hustling, like, just because like my friends was doing it, shit like that. You know, you young, you just want to get money for like weed and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? For like Jordans and shit. So like that's how it started. And then,
Now, what was it? What was the charge that sent you to prison?
I got a gun case and I got bud on the case, just like a couple pounds of weed. But they ain't never catch me with nothing. Like my real actual charge is basically I handed somebody a gun and they went and used it in a robbery. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then, yeah. So then after that, they never called me with shit. Like I just got told on, basically. And they got hearsay, but I had a cop. I was on the run. I thought it was going to be a state case originally. So I was on the run and shit. I turned myself in. I had a lawyer. But a lawyer in the feds ain't no good if you copping out. Like once they was telling on me, there was nothing I could do. Like everybody, they already had everything. So it's like I was copping out. I thought I was going to get 5. I ended up getting like 90 months, 7.5. So they have a mandatory minimum. So like you're going to get what you're going to get no matter what. I ended up getting more than what I thought it was going to get. So paying that money for the lawyer wasn't worth it. Feel me? But
And was that your first arrest, or did you have experience like in juvie?
I got in trouble with I got a few days in juvie and shit, but I got in trouble like, different shit, breaking into cars, dumb shit. I mean, like weed, getting caught with like stealing liquor out the fucking corner store, shit like that.
Yeah.
But we was like, I was really hustling, bro. I wasn't into sticking up dudes and shit, but like my friends were. So that's how it happened. Like we was just having guns and shit, just like, just trying to make a name for ourselves. But like that shit was foolish to me now, looking back on it, how reckless we were. Like I could have easily got life for the shit I was doing back then when I was in like 17.
And you caught that case in Massachusetts?
Nah, in Maine. Yep.
In Maine. See, up here, I don't know what it is because I'm in Boston right now, but everybody out here is going slap to the feds, especially with all the gun cases and everything. Yeah. Versus down in Florida, it's just straight state time.
Yep. Nah, they picking up mad gun cases up north. Like that's all they picking up is gun cases. Like I thought, like that's part of the story. Like I thought I was gonna get a state case, and I had a class A like robbery or some shit, and I turned myself in. My lawyer said he was gonna beat it. That's why I turned myself in, because I wasn't even gonna do that because I was on the run. I had a little bit of money. I was like, I'm out of here. And then, like I talked to the lawyer on the phone and shit. He's like, I could beat that. They don't have any evidence, and possession is 9/10 of the law, and all this shit that he told me. So I turned myself in, and they had a secret indictment. I didn't know. So then, like a week later, the feds picked it up. So mind you, I'm 19 years old. I wasn't ready. Like I was ready because I always thought I would get locked up running the streets. You always think you're gonna get locked up, but you wasn't like ready for the feds to pick you up and all that. Like that shit was crazy at first, but it was what it is. You just don't think about it. You just do it. Like,
what is the process of getting indicted by the feds? Do you get transferred to a different jail?
Yeah, I started off in the county up there. Then I got sent to MDC Brooklyn, and then Pennsylvania, Loretto. And then I got in trouble in Pennsylvania, got caught like a few dirties and like some bud, gambling ticket shit, and they put me in the hole under investigation. And I got shipped to Texas. Like my points went up. The feds, when I was in there, they changed the point system. Like, so like the younger you are, the more points you have. So like the more likely you are to go to the pen. So that's why when I got in trouble and they would transfer me, like they sent me to Beaumont, which is called Bloody Beaumont. Like, but they was filling it up because like they had like wars there. So like they had shipped out like 400 or 500 inmates. So I'm in Allenwood in the not Allenwood, excuse me, Lewisburg at the holdover, and they telling me, "Nah, you going to Beaumont." I'm like, Beaumont? Everybody in the room like mad because they telling all the inmates where they going. And when they said Beaumont to me, everybody was just like, damn, bro, like you going to Beaumont? Shit was crazy at first. I ain't gonna lie, I was shook because like I heard mad stories about Beaumont before I went. But when I went, it was good because I got lucky. There's a lot of Boston guys there and a lot of official like bank robbers and serious dudes there from Boston.
That's what I've heard.
So I got, like, as soon as I got there, it was like, oh, you're from Boston? Like the SIS dude. But SIS is like investigations. When you coming in, he speaks to like everybody. Feel me? He's the main dude. And he's like, oh, you're from Boston? Which I'm from Mass, but anybody in Mass and the feds is from Boston. That's what they say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Basically, we had people in the car from all over New England, Connecticut, Maine, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, but anyways, he was like, yo, you're from Boston, you're good. Just like go see Richie and Russ. And then so that the next day I went to the chow and I went to the Boston table. They're like, who are you? You know, they check me and shit. You know, they just want to see your paperwork and shit, basically. They're like, let me see your paperwork. And then they was like, yo, I started talking to Russ. I didn't know he had the gambling ticket. Like he had already been 20 years in already. He was running the gambling ticket. Like they had the whole compound on Smash, like the Boston guys did for the white dudes. Because when like a few years before, I guess like the ABs and shit or the ABTs was running the yard, and they was like making white dudes do a lot of like extra shit, going on missions and dumb shit, like, and just getting people in trouble. So like the Boston dudes wasn't having it. So they like kind of like went to war with like the ABTs and shit or whatever. Like that's the Texas ABs.
Yeah.
And like, so anyway, they had the compound. So like when I got there, it was cool. And I know a lot about sports. So like, that's all I do is like watch like Sports Center and basketball and football and shit. So like Russ started fucking with me. Like they moved me right in the unit because when I first got there, he had me moved into the kitchen. I mean, they had me working at the kitchen, and my man Rich, he was like the shot caller for the Boston dude. And he was like, I was with them in line for chow like the next day, and he went to the lady that ran the kitchen. He was like, yo, my homie ain't working for the kitchen. And then she was like, all right, I'll take him off the list. Like,
so he had big pull on the compound.
He moved me into the unit. The first day I was in a different unit. And then like the next day they were like, pack your shit, you're going up to C1 or what, I can't remember the pod it was. I think it was C1. And he was like, this was like 8 years ago, but mind you, I'm 34. I got locked up when I was 19, so I got out, I was 26, so it was a while ago. He had the pull and shit. He looked out, and Russ really looked out. They taught me how to do a bid too, because in the East Coast, it's a lot more relaxed. People don't understand like the race and the gang shit that is like that comes with down south and the West Coast in prison. Like that on the East Coast, like I was sitting on any table I wanted because they fuck with me. I rap. Every race fuck with me, and like cause I carry myself good, so like everybody like me. But when you get down south, it's different. And in the penitentiary, it's different. Dudes doing life. You got dudes with Swazis on their face and different shit. And it's just like, so I wasn't used to it. So I had to learn like you got to kind of stay with your own, like with your car, you got to stay with your homies and shit all times. Even if you're going to the shower, you guys going together, somebody going to hold you down, like everything. So that's how in the feds is cars, like every gang, or like, let's say you got the New York car, you got the Boston car, then you got Florida dudes got a car, Louisiana got a car, like every state got a car, it's like, and there's a shot caller for every car. Yeah. So that's how it go.
I didn't even know you was from New England. I thought you was from New York.
Nah, I lived in Queens when I got out. I moved to Queens. And because I was locked up with a lot of New York guys that I became real close with. So like when I got out, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to New York. I started rapping. Started rapping for like a year.
Mad friends died and indicted and all, but we still sell the same shit in spite of it all. Roll up four and we lighting them all. Trying to find another style cause they biting them all. Yeah, my race different. Same color as the base whipping.
And I got kind of big out there in New York for a little while. But
that's rough.
My girl got pregnant, and like me being a good man and shit, she moved back to Louisville, Kentucky, and I had to make sure like that I took like care of her and took care of my kids. So I had to fall back from the music. So that was tough for me because I only had been rapping for like a year. Just came out and I was popping already. So this Corona shit kind of like changed my life because when the Corona came, I was on the East Coast, and when the Corona came, I came back down south to my kids because I am my family, you know. So like because the Corona made me like realize that I have to be with my kids right now, like because it was just like, fuck am I doing running around doing dumb shit? I need to be with my kids. Kobe just died. And I seen him with his daughter and shit. Like I was like, I got to go be with my kids. So like I came out here, and I just been writing and rapping. Like I just started back rapping again, and now shit is going viral on TikTok. Yo, the first thing I want to say is Black Lives Matter. Rest in peace, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and anybody who died by the hands of police. I got tired of going back and forth with these racists, so now I'm shooting for the head Klansman, Donald. Donald. You a big clown. They should have named you Ronald. You like grabbing women by the pussy, right? It's not funny. You're not self-made. That was your pop's money. The KK cops is killing men for Trump. And I hate your racist ass, so I'm gonna do this shit for fun. You know, if all you billionaires put together your funds and gave every family $1 million, you still wouldn't lose a ton. You greasy, sleazy, greasy fucker, trying to control the narrative like we some suckers. My president never. You're the worst president ever. We got evidence from Russia. You're not intelligent or clever. The racists got you elected. You're not calm, you're not collected, you're not smart, you're not respected, you got a dark heart and you talk aggressive, but you was born rich, Donald, so it's not impressive. What are you, up all night tweaking? I swear you sniff a big line before you start tweeting. You a slumlord, a bum fraud, your wife is a dumb broad. It's clear if you could, you'd be a slave master. You handled Corona wrong, we should have got aid faster. Fuck your stimulus check, we should have got paid faster. You thriving off hate, bastard. You getting orange makeup on your clan fit, Donald. The cops killing humans and you stamped it, Donald. The country burning down like Pompeii. So fuck you, fuck Kanye, and fuck anyone who likes you. And fuck Fox News for promoting this fucking psycho. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. I thought it was a typo. They surrounded the state houses with rifles, but they was nice folk because they white though. I'm glad you never wear a mask, clan chief leader. I hope you get the virus so you can't breathe either. You a spoiled bitch, Donald. I got over 250,000 views on this shit, bro. In 2 days, I got over 100,000 likes. Word. I never was even going to make scrap. I was never going to make a TikTok, bro. I was never going to make a TikTok. My sis made me. She was like, yo, make a TikTok. And she's like, you need to just put a couple raps up there and you're going to go viral on TikTok. And I was like, fuck TikTok. That shit sounds corny. But I did it because I made the Trump rap. So I was like, you know what? This shit might do good on the TikTok. And next thing you know, I woke up the next morning, bro. I was invited to everybody's cookout.
That shit's slapping. So when you get sentenced, you go to the feds, are you somewhat forced into a car? Like, do you have to be with these people? I mean, more or less, you're going to stick with your region. But I really want to know, is your car, like the Boston guys, is it only whites or is it other races within one car?
Only white. Nah, in this car, in the feds, in the pen, the Boston car is only white dudes. But there's white dudes from Florida in the car. Because basically, in the USP Beaumont, anybody that's been there will tell you, like, the Boston guys, at least in the era that I was there, they ran shit for the white dudes. And the independent, solid white dudes, like, wanted to fuck with us. And like that, they didn't want to be in a gang. A real white dude that like he's straight, you know what I mean? And he was a good dude. We liked him. If we liked him and he wanted to run with us, he could run with us. Like it didn't really matter if he was just a real white dude. But that's why I used to get in trouble even with my own homies, because I used to be on the yard, spending the yard with my friends, my black friends and my younger friends I used to play ball with, and I used to rap, and my older homies used to pull me aside and say, yo, you're gonna get us in trouble, bro, because you're getting too friendly and shit like that. And I done got in fights with like I got in a fight there, I punched a dude in the throat, Nazi dude, because he got in my face and shit about some like shit, like some race shit. But my homies really fucked with me tough, so I used to get them in trouble, and I probably like, because what it is like the shot callers will pull you up. If you say some foul shit, or do some shit, they gonna go to your shot. They're not even gonna come to you. They're gonna go straight to your shot caller and say, bro, you handle it or we handle it. And then it go from there. Your own homies will usually be the ones that wash you because they don't want a war with whoever. So they'll be like, yo, either you running up top or we washing you. And then, I mean, I've saved dudes' lives before, bro, because I've been in the cell where we get in the cell, like I'm talking with my big homies. It might be like 3, 4 of us in the unit, and they saying they're gonna wash somebody. And I like to do it or something. I'll be like, and I'll be sticking up for the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I swear I've saved people before for shit like that, bro. Because I used to not really be with that. If they a rat, yeah, but like sometimes dudes run up debts and shit like that. It's like, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of dudes get washed over just dope debts and shit like that in the pen, or gambling debts.
Now, when you say washed, how serious is it? Are they getting jumped? Are they getting stabbed off the compound?
You getting stabbed off the compound, bro. You getting hit with a pipe. You getting hit with a lock in the sock. You getting jumped. But usually it's going to be just like, you don't even know you got stabbed in the side and you're bleeding, like type shit. Because you got the gun towers in the yard. So like if a war break out, like you getting hit, or they're going to lay you all down and shit, bro. The worst day of my life, there was a war between the Mexicans and the Louisiana black dudes over some Pop-Tarts, stolen Pop-Tarts. Somebody stole Pop-Tarts in the kitchen, and then another inmate stole the Pop-Tarts from him. Shit started a war, and they ran in my unit because my unit had a lot of the shot callers in it. Like, so like we knew that the war, because you could see down onto the yard from the units. It's like project buildings, like you can see onto the yard like from your cell. So like we seen the shit breaking out. So like all the homies is like all in like together, you feel me, like against the wall, because it don't really got nothing to do with us. Anyways, the shit broke out. They came in with the grenade launcher right into my cell, put it right in my face, dragged me out of the cell, me and my homie, because my homie had like tats and shit on his face, tats. So they like confused us for Mexicans, because you got fair-skinned Mexicans like, so like, and shit that look like me, but they're Mexican. And so they didn't really know me. So when they pulled us out into the yard, it's like 110 degrees out, because it's in like Beaumont, Texas, right near Houston. It's the middle of the summertime, and they got me zip tied crazy, like tight. And they laid me out in the yard, Scrap, for like 5-6 hours, bro, because the cop that was bringing me across the yard to like where they like put you for questioning and shit, a big ass like another riot broke out. So like the broad ran from me, the CO broad. She ran from me, left me in the yard. I had sunburned bubbles on my face everywhere, shit, like the next day, bro, because they left me out in the heat. And then they finally, when I got out there, the same SIS dude that I was talking about earlier, he said, why is he here? And I was just begging for water. I was just like, please, could I get some fucking water, man? I was locked up with Vicamuso. You know, Vicamuso, like, I'm not going to say, I can't really, actually, this is the only thing I won't really talk everything about, but he's the boss, bro, of all bosses. And like, from the Lucchese family, and he was the boss and shit. He got 3 life sentences. I was locked up with him. He was a good guy, man. He used to call me little buddy and shit, like, and he was probably the realest G I met. Like, he was just like, everything came out of his mouth. I used to just get goosebumps, like, when he used to talk and tell stories and shit. And like, if you've seen Goodfellas, like, that's the Lucchese family, but think about like those dudes in the Goodfellas was like lower down. Like, my man Vic was like the boss. Like, you can look him up. I think it's either the Discovery Channel or History Channel. Like, they called him like the Deadly Don, because he greenlighted the whole New Jersey, and they had a lot of murders and shit. Like, but you would never know because he's so humble. Yeah, he was so humble, bro. And he used to be like a lot of mafia dudes and that I was locked up with were real like loud and boisterous and shit. And, like, but he wasn't. He was just like, he used to just sing his like Italian music and like play handball all the time and shit. He gave me a lot of gems. He told me, like, you're gonna go home and you're gonna forget about this prison shit, and you're gonna go home, you're gonna find a woman, you're gonna have a family. Like, he used to tell me shit like that, you know. He's a good dude, man. He used to tell me stories about how, like, the feds stole his car. They try to act like it was, they dropped it off in, like, Fort Greene, Brooklyn in the projects to try to act like the blacks stole it, right? So then when they got the car back, they, like, looked through the car. There was bugs all through the car and shit. Like, the feds tried to, like, set him up to be talking in his car on the wires and shit like that.
For me, my prison experience was completely different. I mean, we really didn't even have any white dudes that would be considered solid, regardless of gang affiliation. Florida's just, it's very rare to have a white dude that's going to stand up for himself and ready to go to war, more or less. I went to prison at 18. You went in at 19. How would it have been for someone? What's up?
I seen your picture. I said, look, you look like me. Me and you look like brothers when we got locked up. That's how young we looked.
Mad young, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think it would have played out for somebody like me, 18 years old, blood affiliation, stepping into a federal compound?
I mean, you would have been good because you're solid. Like, this is the thing. You can make it anywhere if you carry yourself right. That's how I feel. If you know how to carry yourself, you could carry yourself right now. You might always have a time where you're gonna have to pop off and you're gonna have to sit in the hole or like sit and do some shit that you don't want to do. Like fucking they used to leave me under investigation for 3 months at a time on the hole just because of my friends. Like affiliation type shit. Like not even because I did anything, but just because of who I was friends with. So, like, you got to deal with that. But as long as you're solid and you can keep your head down and carry yourself right, keep a smile on your face, fucking respect people, say thank you, say excuse me. If you step on someone's shoe or bump into someone, you show respect. Like, you'd be good. You would have been good, man. Like, I would have seen you on the yard and been like, nah, I fuck with him. Like,
yeah. Because, see, I've heard the stories like, you know, you got a lot of people that feel some type of way, whatever, however the politics are, wherever they're from, especially out in like California, Arizona, they see a white gang banging, the white boys out there.
And they say you would have got They say you would have got fucked up on the West Coast for this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna go in the yard. You're gonna have to pop on somebody. And then they're either going to get you off that yard onto another yard until they find you a yard that you're not going to have to kill somebody on. Like, that's basically what's going to happen. Like, or you're going to get, like, you got to go hard for your shit, bro. Because what's the other option? To get to get mollywopped? Like, fuck that, bro.
You're not just going to wait and let it happen. You're going to do something first.
Yeah, what's the other option, bro? To get treated like garbage? Like, they told me before the Boston dudes took over the independent white dudes on the yard, like he said that though, because that's the reason why Russ and them went so hard to take over, because he said that when they got there, the white dudes was getting taken advantage of. They was getting their commissary bags to dumb shit like that. So like they was like, nah, we're not having it. We getting all the official white dudes together. We're gonna form. And like, I'm not on no racist shit, bro, but you gotta respect that. Like that's some like, and when you really in prison, it's about gangs. It's about you know, politics and shit. But like, if you carry yourself right, because the shot caller in the feds is going to be the one to decide most of the time. And I'm going to tell you this, the shot callers I've met, all of them are the realest ones for a reason. You know, it's like, you don't become the shot caller because you tough. You become the shot caller because you smart, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like, if they going to see you and they're going to say, like, I can't speak for all the cars because, like, some cars, they really, like, especially the ABs and shit like that, they really do some other shit that I can't even speak on. But as far as my homies, you would have been solid. Like, you could have went with the Bloods. There's some white blood dudes that are official that I've met in the system. You know what I'm saying? They used to affiliate me with Blood because a lot of my friends with Blood in Loretto when I was locked up in Pennsylvania. I was in the medium. And I got locked up for that, for having friends that was Blood. All my friends from the city, from New York, is like higher ups, a lot of them. because the feds, why was that? It's like you got a lot of dudes that's the serious shit, bank robberies, RICO charges.
Yeah.
It ain't no like got caught with like ounce of like some dumb shit. Most dudes that are in there for some reasons like you know, just like big cases. So like you're gonna meet bigger like official dudes. So to answer your question, you seem like a real one, so I'd say that you would have made it. You would have been straight. The real boss is gonna realize like who's real and who ain't. Now, if you do some fake shit, then you're gonna get ran up. But
exactly. Yeah, because I mean, it's just there's a lot of people on YouTube that have never heard of white Bloods, white Crips, or even just white 13s, whites running with Mexicans. A lot of it's unheard of.
No, that's just white dudes. No, let me tell you something. That's just white dudes that are hating because they don't like it or they can't do it. So they sit there and say that ain't how it goes here and that ain't go how it goes there, bro. I done been so many places, dog. I done met white Bloods in every state that I've been at. I done met white Bloods in Louisville, Kentucky, New York City, Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? I done met. So you can't tell me there's official white dudes everywhere. They're few and far between. There ain't that many, but they are there. Like, you know, Mass got some of the toughest white dudes. You from Mass, right? Originally?
Yeah, originally, yeah. Malden, Massachusetts.
The most official New England got the most official white boys. I'm gonna tell you. They go the hardest in the prison system too. And then anybody that on here, dudes will be on here talking shit, saying that ain't true. All right. So
they gonna get tight about that.
Go talk to a serious Boston dude and say some crazy shit. See if you don't get your head knocked off.
Being in the feds, you know, you said you seen a war pop off. How was it for you being a hustler on the street, not so much involved with the violence? How was it seeing the violence inside of the prison system and realizing how deadly things can be, especially with the gun towers and all the different gangs inside of the prison?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen violence on the street though too, but like when you see, and I mean, I've done violent shit too, bro. But like when you see somebody get stabbed like in the neck or get stabbed like a million times, like I remember one time, like my cellie told me to look away because like they locked the unit down, but like some dude just getting stabbed. I'm looking through my cell door, my window, and he's just getting stabbed, and the knife is bouncing off the concrete, like. You can straight through him and just like you can see the shit bouncing like dang, dang, dang. And I almost threw up, bro. I had to look away. Like he's like, my cellie was like, Russ, the shot, like there was two shot callers, Rich and Russ. Like Russ moved me in his cell and shit. Cause he fucked with me that tough. We used to run the ticket. But anyways, like he was telling me, look away, don't look. And I had to stop looking, bro. That shit was crazy. Like some of that shit's so graphic and you don't feel like you gotta do it. Like you don't feel like you could do it, but if you had to do it, at least me, I could do it. Like, you know, I just envision myself having to do it. I never poked nobody, but like I used to have the knife on me all the time. Like I used to think sometimes, because I ain't gonna lie, there's been times where like the cell door locks and I feel relief because I thought I was gonna die that day because like I had beef, or I thought that even my own homies was gonna get me, especially when it came to me dealing with other races and shit. So like I used to think like they was lying to me because they said, don't worry about it, you're good. But I'm thinking they lying to me because that's how they do dudes. They tell them they good and then they get fucked up, like when they not looking. So I was thinking that, like sometimes, but you know, that would just be me tripping, really, because I'd wake up the next day and realize like, oh, they do fuck with me. Like, you know.
It's that paranoia.
The wall's closing in on my mind, you know, like, but that shit could be graphic, bro. It's gross. Like, you just get used to it. It's like shooting a gun. The first time you shoot a gun off, then it's easy to let off after you let it off once. You're like, oh shit, dang, dang, dang. You just start shooting that bitch because you know, it ain't that hard, like, to do. Like, then you just do it. Like,
what was some of the things you were able to learn inside of these federal penitentiaries?
I mean, I got taught how to, like, most of the shit that I was taught was how to bid, which is a lot of shit you can't even use in the street, but the shit that you can use in the street is just like how to carry yourself with respect and patience. I was taught a lot of lessons by just watching dudes and how they move, like real, like either hustler type dudes. Some of my friends were gamblers. They used to run poker tables and shit. and like just everything, bro. I'm a fast learner. I pick shit up. So like, I don't know. I just watch people and like I try to pick the best of everything, you know, but it's hard to really explain all in this one sit down, but
yeah,
I learned a
feel
lot,
you.
bro. I feel like I learned more in the pen than I would have learned in college.
Yeah.
You know, and now that my shit is like kind of taking off, because I'm telling you, bro, it was for me, like I just got done scrambling in the street. Like, bro, if I didn't go viral, like I just changed my number yesterday, bro. If I didn't just go viral, bro, my shit would have still been clicking. You feel me? So like I would have been going back to the joint maybe if the shit don't go good for me.
And
you know
tell the people about that, because that's what really got my attention, you know, was your music. How did you get into the music, and how was that, you know, going through prison? Were you writing through your whole bid, or was it something you got into when you got out to stay out of the street?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I used to freestyle in the street, but when I got to county, I just started writing, and then I would rap to people, and then I would get a crowd. And then when I got to the pen, I just started battling and shit, and there would be big crowds. People used to dead ass be like, Gilli's battling on the yard, and everybody used to come to the yard, like, you know. Hey, I used to visualize when I was in the pen, because you know all you do is think in the can, like you just thinking. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could. This is right around when the 8 Mile movie came out too, like, or maybe like a little bit after that. And I was thinking like, damn, if they could film some of my battles in prison, bro, they was better than 8 Mile. I'm talking about lifers, bro. A whole fucking like 100, 200 of them, like going hard, bro. The best rhymes I ever spit was on them yards, bro. Even better than this shit that got me viral about Trump. That's why it was so easy for Trump to do this shit about Trump, because like it was just a battle rap, bro. All I did was say the shit I be screaming at the news.
Yeah.
In a battle. I mean, in a battle rap, and there it is. You know, like that's how it came out. That's all that shit that I said in that Trump shit was the same shit I would have been saying, like, or the same style of writing that I would have done for a battle on the yard. Like, it used to be crazy, bro. I used to have like mad homies. People used to be like, when a rapper would get on the yard, they used to be like, nah, you got to see my white boy Gilli, like, before you say you nice, like, you know.
Yeah.
I used to have, that's why I used to have, that's what got me nice too, bro, because I used to have to, Brody, I used to have to write a rhyme every day, because you can't go and spit the same shit that I spit like the other day. I can't spit the same bars over and over again, so I always had to write new material. I got them in the other room. I got stacks of shit, bro. Shit that I wrote in prison. I ain't even used 95% of it.
Was music for you, you know, music is something that doesn't necessarily have a color, have a race. And like you said, you were somewhat getting in trouble for intermingling with other races. What was it, or in your opinion, what is it that makes people racist when it comes to the racial politics and being forced into a group of your own people? You know, you're in the Boston car, it's all white guys, you're around a bunch of white dudes, even though we got white Boston rappers like Slane, Millies, just to name a couple. What was it for you that really kept your mind open and kept you from turning into somebody that became racist inside of prison?
Because I can't. That ain't in my heart, bro. Like, all my friends growing up, well, not all of them. I had my white boy friends, but a lot of my friends is from the hood, Spanish or black. And I just wasn't having it, bro. I just not like that. I always been in the hood, bro. And I just learned like that. See, what racists don't understand is the good side of the hood. Yeah. Like or the good side of culture. Like, they only see like, oh, that's this and that, but they don't see the love and the soul that comes from other races that white people don't got. A lot of them, feel me? And it's like, I'm not saying everyone. I'm just saying, like, understand that the different cultures have beautiful things about it, just like white people have beautiful things about us. Like, it's like, you know, everybody's got good things about them, but I could never be racist, bro. I never even could pretend like I'm racist, because my homies, I always think about, what would my man think? My real dogs from the street, what would they think if I was to like fold and be like that? You know, like that's why how I am. I wasn't brought up like that anyway. Like my parents were never on that. Like, and a lot of older like white guys in general are racist, but like I just never was brought up around it, bro. That shit was never in my blood. So if I ever did anything for the cause sake, I did it because I had to, but I would never cross that line of being racist, bro. Never. I can't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Tell me about your first time, you know, when you get sent down to Texas, walking out on the yard. Like, what was your expectations?
Seeing it was like nighttime. So everybody was in their cells already because it was lockdown. It was like, and the lights is on. It's like 2 football fields. The yard is about the size of 2 football fields. It's like one side of the yard is a walking track. Then the other side is like basketball courts and handball courts and shit like that. But it's like the size is like 2 or 3 football fields. It's pretty big. And like, but when I walked on the yard, I had my bedroll and shit. And like the CO was mad funny. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. He was like saying like, "Oh, y'all gonna get fucked up in here, baby." Like saying shit like that. He was black and shit, talking mad shit. And I was like kind of shook, but the SES, the SIS dude just told me like that the Boston guys was official in here. So I was kind of feeling good, but I was kind of like still nervous because you don't never know. Yeah. And they called it Bloody Beaumont for a reason. Like that shit has had wars in there, and a lot of infamous bosses done been there and shit like that, you know. So I went on the yard. They were slamming on the windows in the cell because they can look down in the yard. So we're all looking up at the units. Like there's like 10 of us, and they're slamming on the windows hard as shit, like dang, 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 like rocking the whole yard. So yeah. When we went under the unit, then everybody was already locked down, so they yelling shit. But I was good. When I woke up the next morning, they brought me to my cell, and I had some dude that looked like Santa Claus and shit, some Louisiana white dude. And he was like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "Boston." He's like, "Oh, you'll be all right." They told me to move from the table when I first got here. And I sat down, and the guy said I had to get up. It's a Boston table. And I was like, "Oh, what?"
So how was your reaction to that? Because like where I was at, even when it's a gang thing, like when a brother, you know how it is. You know, you stayed in New York. You know how it is with the gangs, Blood, Crip. When somebody presses you, there's 2 ways you can feel about it. More or less in Florida, they're not going to press you in the sense that they're checking you. They're going to introduce themselves. So for me, when I hear like you sat down at the table and someone's like, "Oh, nah, get up," or they come up to you like, "Yo, we need to see your paperwork." In Florida, that would be taken as disrespect. Like, what? Like, you need to show me your shit before you ask for mine. How was it for you? Did you already have an idea, like, all right, this is what I'm going to go through and this is normal, like, this isn't a big deal? Or was any part of you kind of, like, disrespected by just your privacy being invaded like that?
No, I wasn't, because I know how Boston dudes are. Like, dudes are automatic, going to get right to the point. It ain't going to be it ain't like Florida. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and I'm not even like, I knew that I'm not from the city of Boston, but I know I've been to Boston enough that I know that they was going to look at me like their little homie. So, like, you know, like, I'm just like, yo, I know that they were going to be straight to the point, so I wasn't disrespected, basically. But that's how the feds is anyway. Like, the official cars, they're going to check you as soon as you get there. Like, they want to make sure that you're solid. Like, but they didn't come to me like, yo, where's your paperwork? What are you talking about? Why are you sitting here? Like, they came to me real nice, like, all right, bro, you say you're this person, but we want to see first. So, like, here, we're gonna get you some. Yeah, like, so we're gonna get you some shower slippers. I'm gonna tell the homies to get you some soups, you know, and then we're gonna come see you later and just make sure that you got everything together when we come. And then, like, after that, I told you about the next day. They were like, "Oh, that's my little homie." They got me off the kitchen. They moved me in the unit. Like, they was mad cool after that. Like,
See, I couldn't. I would be mad suspect about that because it's totally a whole nother world. If anybody tried to do that to you in Florida, bro, you already like, I'm gonna have to poke this dude up. He thinks shit's sweet. He probably looking at me like I'm young, and you know what I'm saying. I don't know how long he's been down, if he on that creep shit or, but
yeah, I've heard about different states and shit, like, and how it is and shit. There've been more. Well, that would have been me. I would have been just like you, having a pot, bro. I would have been having to, like, I fought and shit, but I didn't have to cut nobody or nothing. Luckily, I ain't cut nobody in jail. I've done my thing in the street more than I've done in prison, to be honest with you. But
and do you have to go through any type of like a test to hide or like show that you'll fight when you get there, or it's just love off rip until someone feels like you did something out of bounds?
yeah, I mean, everybody's different, but I mean, they just fuck with me because everybody like me. I'm like a people person, so I try to get like along with everybody. Vibe. Yeah, I try to get along with everybody, bro. That's it. Like, I got the aura, man. That's why, like, actually, I'll tell a story. Like, there was a shot caller, this Mexican mafia dude. He was mad cool. Like, he was laid back. But when I first got there, he didn't talk to me. Like, I tried to talk to him because I'm like a people person. So I'm chopping it up with different people and shit because I like to learn, and, you know, that's how you network, bro. Like, you know, so I'm talking to the guy, and he won't talk back to me, like, really, but he's a shot caller, but he was in my unit. I used to say different things to him and shit, and he just would, like, look at me and not say nothing. And I would be feeling mad, like, damn, this dude don't like me and shit. And then one day he pulled me aside. He was like, this was like after a whole year of me being around the dude, like, in the unit. He pulled me aside. He's like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like, I made a bet that you wasn't gonna make it like 3 months, and you made, and like, I like the way you carry yourself and shit. Like, I fuck with you. Like, no bullshit. And when I got on the yard, he must have made a bet with his homie or some shit. Like, yo, that kid ain't gonna make it.
That's
and
crazy.
So he was like, yo, I fuck with you and shit. He used to gamble with me, like, cause I used to run the ticket, and I used to break his balls. Like, after a couple of years of being there, I used to break his balls. Like, you're not gonna hit tonight on the ticket and shit. Like, you're not gonna hit. Like, and you know, we became tight. Like, I was locked up with a lot of cool people, man. Like, that I learned a lot of shit from. I was locked up with this Colombian hitman. He was from my cartel, and he was a hitman, like, in the cartel. And his daughters that used to come visit with him were like better than these Instagram models and shit. Like, the baddest chicks I've ever seen, bro. From Colombia, bro. I used to be on the Visit Brody, and I used to be like, damn, can I talk to your daughter? Like,
and this is a whole hitman too. Like, you really gotta choose your words wisely.
But he was mad cool with me. He was so cool and laid back. He smiled all day. He would never thought that he was a hitman or that he had life in prison. He made bags, like leather purses. He made me a backpack before I left, like a fire leather black one. My sister has it now. She like stole it from me because it was so dope. Like, you would think that like Louis made it. Like, it was so dope. The bag that he made when he was in the arts and crafts, he used to like run the arts and crafts, and that was right next to the rec. And I used to go over there because I'd be down at the rec handing out tickets for the gambling, and then I would go into the arts and craft, and it would just be like him in there, like making bags and shit, and I would just be chopping it up with him all the time. Word. He was mad cool. I had a lot of love for him, man. Like, I don't know where he's, like, he never wrote me, or we never, like, but he gave me that bag, so I hope he's all right, man.
Yeah. How has prison affected you being back into the street? You know, what was your release like, and where did you go after you got out of the feds?
New York. And I was in the halfway house and shit. Like, halfway house was whack. I hated the halfway house. And that's when I started smoking. I used to smoke mad cigarettes in the halfway house. And then I used to smoke K2 too. That's the only time I smoked K2 when I was in the halfway house. She used to have me ready to die. We used to sneak out the halfway house because we only get like a couple hours to leave and come back. My man, he not even supposed to have a car, but he had like a car parked down the block. We used to hop in that joint. He used to keep the music. He's one of those dudes. My man Sean, he got dreads. He he blasted music so loud that like he'll never turn it down, like never. Like we're in the halfway house, he got the shit full blast, driving around. Cops pull up, we smoking K2. Like I'm having a heart attack. I had to hop out the car. I swear, I was like, yo, let me out of this next light. Like, I walked back to the halfway house, bro. I was fucked up off that K2, but I didn't like that shit, man. I didn't like coming out. Probation was whack. That's why I was just rapping. I wasn't running around in the street. Like I wasn't going out to the strip club. I wasn't hustling. I wasn't doing nothing. I was rapping. I would go to the projects, fuck with my friends like during the day. But once it got too like late at night, like 2, 3 in the morning, dudes getting too drunk, I'm out. Cause I know people's fitness get shot. Some crazy shit gonna happen. Yeah. So I used to just like, I was on probation. So I couldn't do nothing. I was smoking weed and drinking mad water. My PO was cool, just like yours. And she like told me 3 different times, like, you're gonna keep smoking weed, like, come on. And I just kept smoking, but eventually I paid my restitution off because I had to pay like $90,000. It was like we had what they call joint severance, so like we had to pay somebody's hospital bills because my Cody, he like shot somebody, and we had to pay the dude hospital bills. And so when I finally paid that shit, like we had like $5,000 left because I was working in prison, like in Unicor. That shit's slavery. That's why I hate the government and shit now. People wonder why I hate the government. It's because they slaving people in prison. They locking you up for way too long for drugs. Then they slaving the shit out of you. Like the job I was doing in the feds, Unicor, I would have been getting paid $100 an hour in the street for making cables for the military, communication cables.
Oh, so like you get like real jobs in the feds?
Yeah, bro. We was in factories, bro, and making shit.
Oh, yeah. See, in Florida, I was a houseman. I just swept. That was it. I had access to the broom.
No, in Texas, I was just an orderly in my unit. I never left the unit. I mean, I was like on some bullshit. But when I was in Pennsylvania, yeah. Hell yeah.
That's crazy. Because the most we have will be like some prisons. Most of the jobs shut down at all the prisons. Lancaster, which was an all youth offender prison, my first prison was 14 to 18. My second was 14 to 24. They had auto body at Lancaster, but people were making machetes and shit. And the helicopter was touching down, so they shut that shit down. So by the time I got there was no jobs. You feel me? And then we were getting the box cutter blades from outside and throwing them over the fence. People were getting ripped with that shit.
I was getting the bagging. I ain't gonna lie. My man, we was getting the bagging in the joint too. He was getting the bag and the bud and all. They was getting everything. But I used to fuck with the bud heavy. It's time for me to do this music. Like it's now or never. Because, like I said, bro, I was in the street. I'm trying to make it before, the walls close in on me again.
Now, how did you more or less? Because I've seen your videos. I've seen the music videos that you did inside of the projects. Were those people that you knew before prison, during prison, or were those all people that you met on the outside and they were just fucking with the music heavy?
Most of them dudes is from Queensbridge, but like my man Aura and a few dudes I knew from the feds. And then I moved to the city. When I moved to the city, it was like second nature. We was just chilling every day like we wasn't locked up. We was running around doing music and shit. So I was just in Queensbridge a lot. And one of my best friends from the Bronx and shit, Ebo too. So I was running around the city, man. We was in Harlem every night, or like Dykeman, going to the clubs. When I first came home, man, we used to go out every night, buying bottles, going to the best clubs and shit. We was having mad fun. And I was rapping. It was fun. But I didn't make it, but I almost made it. Like we were real close. If you go look back, I was in a few different videos. Like we was in Mano's video with like Troy Ave and like Chinks was in it and shit, a few people. And we was in the video, and like I got a few things that I was doing back then and videos that people still fuck with now that I made back then. But now it's a new time. I used to be Gilli Conway, so I changed the name to Gilli Brando because I was just traveling a lot and just people just started calling me like Brando because The Godfather. My man just started calling me because I used to because that's how I move, and I'm in the bando, like, so that's why she just started calling me Brando, and that's where the whole Godfather, the bando shit came from. It all came in the trap. I was just sitting in the trap, like, all my shit that I've been writing and all the shit that I've been doing, I've been in the trap, bro. Like, for real. And that now I'm going viral. When this corona hit was the first time that I wasn't like either on the highway or in the trap. Like when I came out here and been with my kids and been writing. And I just said, fuck it, now's my chance. It's like I'm in prison again. I'm just in the house.
Yeah,
and
you have that time to really get everything together.
Yeah. And so I was like on the yard again. I started writing every day again and just getting better with my verses, and my wordplay started coming back to me again, like even more. And because it's like riding a bike, but once you get your mind going, like it just gets easier and easier. Like it just becomes easier. Like it seems like it's a tall mountain to climb when you first start a song, but now it's like, I don't know. It just comes to me like now.
And
like
now you get
one thing at a time before you know you're at the top. Yeah, you helped me with the Instagram too. That shit's at like 8,000 views, but my TikTok is going bananas right now. I ain't looked at it like an hour, bro. I think that's gonna hit an M.
Yeah,
for real, Scrap.
I hope so.
I think so, bro.
I hope so.
I think it's
now,
hit an M,
if it do, what are the plans? Are you got any plans for the future? Any new videos or anything like that coming up? I mean, I don't want to be too much. I don't want to be too much in your game room and exposing nothing, but just to give people.
No, I got videos. Listen, I got a good videographer. He's been shooting my shit forever, and he's fire. And so he's gonna. But just now that nobody knew that this was gonna happen with this Trump shit that I just did with the fuck Donald Trump, I just did that because I came from the heart real quick, and I just did it, and now it's going viral. But I'm not, you know me, I'm not like a politician, Scrap. So like they think I'm gonna like keep going that way, but I gotta really tell my story. Like I'm an artist and I'm gonna tell my story. I can't really rap about politics. I barely watch the news. Like I watch fucking sports and shit. I'm not gonna just sit and act like I'm Joe Biden. But at the same time, I do go hard against racism and shit like that. So, you know, if I feel some type of way again, I will rap about it again. But I'm gonna talk about my life and how I've been living and what I see. That's what I'm gonna rap about.
Definitely. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on, bro, and sharing your experience within the feds, sharing some of the music with us. I'm definitely looking forward to some of your new stuff coming out. If you want to go ahead and shout out your social media, your Instagram, or anything like that, you can go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, dogs, man. I appreciate this too, bro. I fuck with you tough, bro, and the whole movement. And keep doing your thing. And I'm gonna talk to you when we off here too. But yes, Gilli Brando on everything. Follow me on the gram, Twitter, now TikTok, which is booming. So a lot of people don't got TikTok, but go fuck with TikTok. It's not corny. I thought it was corny. It's fire. Go fuck with it.
Big facts. But hey, hopefully we can do something.
I appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate you coming on, bro.
All right, bro.